The minis from the Miniature Man. Well, I've got sci-fi, historic, and fantasy. And an alternate history that you have got to see. And I can tell you want to paint with the Miniature Man. I can tell you want to paint with the Miniature Man. I can tell you want to paint with the Miniature Man.
Yeah, I'd like to see you make a monkey out of me. Oh, geez. Welcome, everyone. So, just a quick slip in before we start the video. You know, it's my video, so I can do that. I just want to say that we've got the war room that's almost done. So what we're looking at for the war room is that the flooring needs to get done. Hopefully that'll be done before next video, and I'll be able to film next video in there, which means it'll be a proper full review. If I can't, I've got a small game that I'm gonna film in here, and then we'll get on to the fantasy stuff. So anyway, let's get stuck into this, shall we? Today we're talking about Mammoth Factory. And I know what you're thinking, Vamps, what the hell is Mammoth Factory? Well, that is a very good question. And so Mammoth Factory, of course, is a miniature company, but they don't just do miniatures, unlike most of the other people who I've had a look at over the years. Over the year? Whatever. Anyway, these guys also do D&D modules, so they'll release some miniatures, and then they will end up being able to be used in D&D 5th edition, which is pretty cool. Of course, if you're savvy enough, you can of course convert these modules into whatever RPG system you use. But only recently have they forayed into war games, with the help of one-page rules, with the Beyond Worlds Brawl. You will have in fact seen both these armies in there, which is the Fire Peak Dwarves and the Iron Crag Orcs. But they also have a really cool fantasy range of guys. Now, they mostly do fantasy, so as in pretty much, yeah, fantasy. Yeah, they pretty much only do fantasy because it's for the D&D stuff. But yeah, if you're looking for sci-fi monsters or cyborgs or elite cyberpunk teams, this is not the game. These are not the miniature makers for you. But if you are into, you know, fantasy stuff, these guys may scratch that itch. So let's find out by having a look at Scuplts and Customization. Hey, so I will be taking, you'll get some photos on this one. So let's have a look at these guys. Now, these guys aren't amazingly painted. These were painted very rapidly for a video. But I will say that I am very happy with the sculpts themselves. They look good, they're dynamic. You got a lot of different poses. Each sort of group of guys comes with 3 to 5 poses, unless they are, of course, a single model, like Queen Crazy of the Orc Ladies, you know, that kind of thing. If they're a named character, there's only, of course, one of them. But with the other ones, you get some options, so you don't necessarily need to always print them, you know, out as just the one guy. You don't know with this orc, you know, like this orc's not too bad, but you know, you've also got this orc as well, and so therefore you've got a bit of option, and you've even got this orc. And same with our dwarf friends. So based on what they are, we end up with some extra stuff. Now, I will say this, the poses are very dynamic. No two orcs or dwarves or miniatures of any Mammoth Factory guys end up being, you know, too similar, so that's great. The sculpts are really nice, and they've got good detail. Once again, they hit my favorite part of the sculpt thing, which is they've got enough detail that they're fun to paint, but not so much detail that you feel like you're swapping paint colors every 2 seconds and stuff like that. So yeah, great stuff. Now the customization. This is where Mammoth Factory really doesn't have much of a thing. Every model I've got, now, you know, maybe there's some exceptions here, but every model I've got comes in a single piece. Now, they are very cool single pieces, but single pieces they are nonetheless. Which means as far as printing off or 3 orc bodies with a bunch of different weapons and then just picking and choosing as you go, or dwarves or whatever, you know, no, that's not really something that happens here. You end up just all over the sort of place. So, and that's fine, that's not a problem. These things happen, and like, not everything needs to have customization, particularly now when you can just jump on My Mini Factory and get a whole bunch of you know, miniatures. I think customization, while cool, is not like omni-important as it might be with when you buy a model kit, right? I mean, if you're going to have to glue and stick together a model kit for yourself, you're going to want to, you know, have those options, right? While these guys, they really only come in one flavor, and with miniature agnostic games, what guys are carrying is not quite as important as it once was before. So, yeah, awesome, great stuff. You can always kit bash or blender or whatever, so really, you can obviously make some level of customization. That's really on your end of the stick, not really on theirs. So yeah, but that being said, it is pretty cool that you do get some adventures with these guys, but obviously, we're talking miniatures here, not D&D adventures. That would be a completely different channel, or maybe something that I can look at in the future, depending on how people feel. But let's move forward and chat about ease of print. Alright, so ease of print. How easy did these guys print? Because obviously, with printing, quality is sort of like, you know, it's how good is your printer? That's how good the quality is. As far as I know, these guys don't sell any boosters or boxes or anything like that. If you want them printed, you have to get the STL files and get them printed yourself. That's fine. I might be wrong there, so, you know, if I am, fine. But as far as I could tell, I couldn't find anything that said that you could buy these other than STL files. So, yeah, at that point, obviously, then I'd review the quality, but this is not what we're talking about. How easy are Mammoth Factory miniatures to print? Well, I have great news. Out of all these miniatures, I had exactly 3 fails, which I think is pretty damn good. 3 fails is not too shabby. Most of it was shields. I find 3D printers are really finicky on shields. I don't know why. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're not. I think it's just that the fact that if there's any kind of slippage in a shield, it's very hard to disguise it because everything's slightly off. And sometimes, you know, temperature will change, things will shift. So most of it was that. Other than that, though, like, I still got some usable parts out of this. Like this guy, for example, he's a slipper. He slipped, but I shoved a giant axe head in the gap in the shield, and now it looks like he's like successfully managed to stop an axe from killing him while coming back with a big old hammer. So yeah, I mean, you know, you make the mistakes happen, you make do. But honestly, overall, like, all the other miniatures printed really well. You know, they weren't hard to get the supports off or anything like that. And there was no major breakage or anything like that, which is pretty good. Like, I mean, most of the time, I will have some level of breakage that I'll have to repair with glue. Not really with these guys. There were a couple of bits and bobs, but nothing major either. So, but yeah, that's all I gotta say about ease of print. They were great. I enjoyed them. They were fast and they came out good like 99% of the time. So awesome. Let's move forward. Let's get on to painting. Painting. How easy was it to paint these guys? Now, obviously, Pla once again takes paint pretty well. So, you know, spray, or in my case, spray, but you know, for the base coat, and then I just went through. And now for these guys, I mostly speed painted them. I did do some like tweaking with like little things, but for the most part I was speed painting because I was trying to paint, I think it was about 60 miniatures or something like that in the space of like a week. And I managed to get it done, but I only got it done because I speed paint and I just made them table ready. So there's nothing here that really stands out as like, oh my god, super duper amazing. But I think they came out pretty nicely. So the Fire Peak Dwarves have all this like sort of grey volcanic skin. And then of course with the Orcs, I did my standard sort of like, I like painting Orcs different colours, not just green. So yeah, you know, this one's purple, green, we got a red guy here, and we got a blue guy here. If you ever played the game Blackthorn, you'll know why I paint them different colours. And I've always liked the Blackthorn, and particularly the Blackthorn game, the way they dealt with Orcs, so I just think it's really cool. Anyway, that being said, it's once again, all the poses are really nice and dynamic, so I didn't really have any trouble, like, you know, I wasn't trying to like thin the gap. You'd think you would be, right? Because they all print in a single sort of piece. But no, all these single dynamic poses are actually posed in such a way that you don't end up with a guy who's like, you know, this with 2 swords or something like that. They're all posed in sensible fashion, which means it's very easy to get in those spots and paint. So I'm a very big proponent of that. As I said, they're just detailed enough that you can have like maybe 4 or 5 paints on the go, and instead of having to have, you know, 20 different paint colors to try and paint your one guy, generally you can sort of batch paint these guys with, say, like 5 or 6 paints, 4 to 6 paints, we'll say, yeah. So that's good. I like that very much. I really don't have any complaints on the painting department. They were nice and easy to paint, and they were very enjoyable. And I think they turned out really well considering they just slapped together table-ready ones too. So they certainly strike an interesting visage on the battlefield. So that's great. Anyway, let's wrap this up, shall we? So yeah, Mammoth Factory. How do I feel about these guys at the end of the day? I think they do great work. Now, that being said, I think you'll get the most out of it if you do RPGs rather than wargaming in this particular fashion. But I still think there's plenty of guys there to sort of get some good fantasy armies up and running. Now, that being said, as I said at the start of the video, they really only do fantasy. So you're not going to be like, oh yeah, I got some cool space orcs out of this, or I got some cyberpunk, you know, edge runners. That's not going to be happening. But if you're looking for cool fantasy miniatures, both for D&D and wargaming, you can do way worse than these guys. These guys are great. In fact, I think as far as fantasy miniatures go, they may be one of my favorite companies. Like, their miniatures are just really nice, and all of them stand out along the table, and they cut a striking image. There's a lot of like billowing capes and cool big swords and like buff posing and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of really cool stuff. So overall, I think give Mammoth Factory a try if you're in the category of either fantasy wargamer or you like to play some type of fantasy role-playing game, and doubly so if you enjoy both, because they'll definitely be able to pull both. So yeah, woo! Anyway guys, that's it for me today. I'll just give a quick shout out to my Patreon, so they'll be popping up now. I'll just finish talking. If you did skip through at the start of the video, the War Room is coming online, but I'm hoping it'll be for next video. If not, I've got another small game that I can review, so we'll do that one instead. But otherwise, we'll be looking at Age of Fantasy Regiments, followed by Warhammer Fantasy 6th edition. Now, the reason why I'm doing it that way is because I've printed armies sort of based on the Age of Fantasy armies, and then I'll have to make Warhammer Fantasy armies and then print extra miniatures, because Age of Fantasy tends to be slightly smaller scale than Warhammer Fantasy, which was fairly large scale. Anyway, now my Patreon should have flown past, so yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a look at Mammoth Factory, because they are a really cool company. And yeah, have a look at some of my other miniature reviews. And I will see you on the next video. See yous. Ooh, don't know where I'm gonna go.